Hey guys, it's me, Paige. So today I want to do something a little bit different. I have done nannying off and on full time since I was about 13 or 14. I've worked for a lot of different families. I've worked for a couple of different daycares. So I've been everywhere. I've gone through the scams. I've dealt with the rude parents, I've dealt with the bad kids, I've dealt with the really good kids, and I've really gotten to know some really good people from what I do. Coming from someone who really loves kids, it's actually really fun for me. There is good money in it, depending on who you work for, how many hours you work. If you can manage to get 2 jobs and then a dating babysitting job on the side, that's always good. It's really easy to get into. I use care.com, and I also use a Facebook babysitting local situation that we have around here. But it's not always easy being a nanny. There's a lot of different risk in it, I guess. The family I work for can tell me all day long, oh, we'll pay you on Monday, every Monday, or we'll pay you at the end of the day every day. But when they get home, they can come up with an excuse, and then the next day they can fire me. Or, something can happen in their life. It's hard because they can get called out from work, and then I'm called out, so I don't get paid for that day. There's really good perks, but there's also a lot of risk, and honestly, I would not do nannying full-time as a career. I would not expect to do that the rest of my life and expect to get by with that, pay all my car notes, It's just not something that you can do unless you find a really good family that you're willing to work for ever. So, honestly, I've worked for, the most kids I've ever kept at one time was six kids, and then I've kept 1 kid, I've kept 2 kids. The youngest I've ever gone is a newborn, and the oldest I've ever kept was a 13-year-old who was about to turn 14. I try not to go older than that just because I'm only 18, so dealing with a 14 or 15-year-old that doesn't see me as what is it called? I'll think of it in a minute. But they don't see me as older or, wiser or anything, so they don't listen. That can cause a lot of riffraff, with the parents, honestly, so I really don't keep teenagers. My favorite age is toddlers. I know the temper tantrums and everything, but toddlers are just really fun. Honestly, it makes the time go by faster. There's a lot of horror stories, and I'll probably do a part 2 to this, just for the horror stories I've had with kids. And if you want to hear those, please give this video a like and subscribe if you want to. If not, well, that's cool too. Right now I keep a 7-year-old. I get him on the bus in the morning, and then I keep him in the afternoon, and I also keep 2 little kids part-time, but that's, it's part-time. It's a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old, but I really love my job. It's really fun because there's not many restrictions, honestly. When the kids are asleep, I get to play on my phone or play on my laptop or whatever, and I can do other things while I'm there. It's not like I have to work 9 to 5 every day, because I don't. I'm not standing 24/7. I get to play board games. It's a really fun job, and for the money I make, it's actually pretty good. Any high school or college student that really wants to do this, I encourage everyone. It's really easy to get into. People think, oh, well, it's so hard to find a family. It's really not. If you knew the amount of people that really need a sitter anywhere, it's not just Iowa, it's, it's anywhere. People in Mississippi, it was easy to find people. People in Louisiana, it was easy to find people. You just got to know where to look. If you are wanting to do like a career out of it, which I don't, but if you want to, my advice is to start at the bottom, start part-time and everything, because most parents, the first question that they're going to ask you is, what experience do you have? And honestly, the experience that you have with families really builds that relationship with your future families, because the first thing, if you tell them, oh, well, this is my first or second job or whatever, and you should never lie to them, just because they might, you know, want somebody new, or they might want somebody that's dealt with a bunch of kids. They might want a young, impressionable person that they can just be like, okay, well, since you've never done this before, this is exactly what we're looking for. You should always be very honest and foregoing with the families. It makes that relationship a lot easier, because if you slip up later and say, no, I actually only kept for you, or, you know, a couple other people, that makes you look really bad. If something ever happens and, you know, with the kids, they ever find out, one other thing that the parents really look for is CPR certification and first aid training. I have been through CPR and first aid training. I have. I did it in high school, but I do not have my certificate right now. So it makes it a little bit harder to find a lot of the higher end families with a lot of kids that will pay you a lot nicer than some of the others. You know, it's a lot harder to get them to be like, oh, okay, yeah, you can sit for me, you know. If you don't have references right now and you're trying to get started, my thing would be honest with the parents, of course, and try to give some personal references. I know when I was first starting out and I told parents, you know, I only kept for one family or two families or whatever, I'd just give them personal references, and that would usually suffice, even if that's not what they were originally going to take. But you just have to be, communication is the biggest thing in all of this, because they do a certain thing with their kids, and you're going to do a certain thing with their kids, and you need to follow their rules as closely as possible, but at the same time, everyone has their different style of dealing with children. And if the child has any sort of problems or health problems or anything like that, you need to be even more prone to communicate with the parents what's going on when they're not there, what you have seen that the child has exhibited, just things like that. Like I said, it's a really fun job if you're younger. I know I would not want to do this if I was like 30 or 40, like chasing around a bunch of kids that weren't mine. I don't know if I could do that. Like, I'm just going to be completely honest. I don't know if I could really do that. But like I said, if you're just going to college or you're in high school and you really want to do this, this is the best thing. It's easy to make your schedule. If you tell the parents very, you know, like, in the very first spot when you first talk to them, before even the interview, be honest. Say, yes, I have a job. Yes, I have, you know, I go to college. Yes, I go to school. Yes, I do online school. And a lot of the times the parents will actually change their schedules or work around you in that way, especially if they really like you. So I think it's a really good job. I happen to really love it a lot, but I just wanted to make this information video. If you really want to see some of my horror stories, I can write down a few. I've kept for at least 30 families, if not way more. Just date nights and everything, and there are plenty of horror stories to go around everywhere. But I love you guys, and thank you for all the support. I tried to get back to a few of y'all on Instagram and everything. If you follow me, it's easier for me to see your Insta messages. For some reason, if you don't follow me and then you send me a message saying you're following me on YouTube or whatever, it does not show up unless I actually click on like the little button at the top, and then I have to go through all that. So if you can either like follow me or friend me or something, make it easy. That would be great, just so I don't miss your messages. Thank you to the person that sent me the link for the free website. I have gotten it up. I just have not, like, I really have not posted anything on it. I'm gonna really try, I promise. Like, I know you paid for that, and thank you, and I don't know who you are, but thank you. So, all I can say is that the support has been overwhelming, especially with everything that I disclosed about my divorce and everything. It's honestly been so hard for me emotionally and everything, and to know that so many people are willing to step up and, help me through if I need anything, that's really awesome to know, and thank you. Like, that's all I can say. But I'm gonna try to post 2 videos this week to make up for the fact that I did not post one last week. I'm sorry. My next video is either going to be the horror story or the skincare. So I might do a skincare routine with you guys. Obviously my face is cleared up quite a bit. So I really like the new stuff I'm using. But I love you guys and thank you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.